Hello dosto, in this series of dynamic programming, today we are going to, before solving any questions, today we are going to see how to identify a dynamic programming question, and as well as some of you might have confusions with dynamic programming and greedy, so I'll make sure that that thing is clear. And not only that, एक वो बहुत confusing सी terms जो रहती है ना, optimal substructure and overlapping subproblem. Today we are going to clear that with lots of examples. So without wasting time, let's get started. So the very first thing that if you want to identify a dynamic programming question, then you will see that you can convert that word language of a question into a recurrence relation. So what is a recurrence relation? A recurrence relation is nothing, a mathematical equation of a sequence or multidimensional array which recursively call itself. So we have already seen one of the example of Fibonacci series in which f of n is equal to sum of its previous two terms, which is f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. Now such type of relations are called a recurrence relation. So definitely there is going to be a recurrence relation in a dynamic programming. The next thing is that the recurrence relation should call itself at least two times. Okay, in order to answer this, like why it's really necessary, you need to understand why there is a need of dynamic programming. I mean, if we remember in the previous video, we talked that there are some questions in which we calculate the same thing over and over. And in order to avoid that, what we do? We save the values. And saving those values in an efficient manner is called as dynamic programming. So just in case if there is just a function is calling itself just a single time, then you will go from one state to another. Let's say f minus some k, then f minus, or maybe any function n minus 2k. So it will just keep on decreasing. Now in case if you say ki, the function goes back to a previous calculation that we have already made, then there will be a loop. Now if there is a loop in a function when we are calculating for any term, then that's going to be run for like infinite time. तो फिर वो कंट्रोल प्लस सी करके अपने को टर्मिनेट ही करना पड़ेगा. तो दैट मीन्स इट नीड एटलीस्ट टू टाइम्स. एंड हर फेमस फिबोनाची एग्जांपल, as we know that when n call n minus 1 and n minus 2, and when n minus 1 call n minus 2, so here only we see that there is a subtree which is being calculated two times. So the need of dynamic programming is that you need to have something which you're calculating at least two times. So that's why recursive function calling itself at least two times is the second condition. Now the next condition is optimal questions. Okay, so definitely एक चीज बता देता हूँ कि dynamic programming में there is going to be either you have to find maximum, minimum, smallest, largest. Such type of questions if you get, you can think that you can use dynamic programming there. But wait, एक लाल के अंदर जो बहुत कैची सा दिख रहा है कि confusion with greedy. For people who don't know greedy, you don't have to worry. I mean, greedy is just another algorithm. So another way of solving problems. And as the name suggests, greedy, what you do is basically you take maximum value from it. I mean, ऐसे बोलूँ तो suppose you have to find largest pizza or something, what's the surface area of pizza and all. So how you will start? You will start by taking the largest slice of that pizza. तो वैसे ही जो चीज approach use करते हैं, it's greedy. So that also deal with the optimal question. Now some of you think that there is like Fibonacci series, so in that we were using nth term and there was no optimal question. So I'll say 90% of the time dynamic programming follows the optimal questions. Okay. So first, let's clear the difference between greedy and dynamic programming. So in greedy, we take decision only one time. So what happens in greedy is that we make a procedure, we make a method, and we follow that. That's all. So a very famous example is when we want to find minimum spanning tree. So using Kruskal or Prim's, whatever you want. So what we do, minimum spanning tree is just the tree which has the least edges weight in the that particular tree. Or if you have given a graph and you have to find minimum spanning tree, then that will be a tree with the least weight. Okay, so how do we find it? What we do, we arrange all the edges into ascending order, and the greedy approach will be to choose the smallest edge and see if it's forming a cycle or not. Then take the second smallest edge, then see the cycle is forming or not. Third smallest, and likewise will went on until our minimum spanning tree is created. So this is what our greedy is. If you ask me, तो मैं एक bottom line बता देता हूँ, बस उसको याद रखो. Locally optimal also leads to global solution are best fit for greedy. So if you see that, if you are moving towards your answer one at a time or taking small steps and eventually will lead to your answer, then on those questions you can use greedy technique. Now what is dynamic programming? In dynamic programming, basically you keep taking decision all the time. So it's like for every item you have to either select it or reject it. और बोलूँ तो हर possible solution देखोगे. You're going to see all the feasible solutions for that particular question and you'll see that is this the best answer or not. So we have like so many examples, whether it's 0-1 knapsack, subset sum, or multiple chain MCM, and then we have unbounded knapsack and lots of. We are going to see all those things. So bottom line बोलूँ तो all feasible solution leads to find a global solution. अच्छा, लेकिन बात बोलूँ ना, मैं भी स्टूडेंट हूँ, बेस्ट चीज समझ में कब आती है जब अपने को कोई एक एंटी एग्जाम्पल दे दे कि अब मैं तुम्हें बता दूं कि यहाँ पे ग्रीडी यूज नहीं करना है ऐसे क्वेश्चंस के अंदर, तो तुम्हें पता पड़ जाता है कि हाँ यहाँ ग्रीडी यूज नहीं करना और वो चीज समझ में आ जाती है. सो लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ग्रीडी एंड डायनामिक प्रोग्रामिंग. Now, for example, if you have to find largest sum in a tree, let's say 2, and I'll write some number, say 1, and let's say I'll write 7. 7 is my favorite number. I mean, you guys know 7 कहाँ पे कौन अगर तुम मैच देखते हो या फिर कुछ क्रिकेट खेलते हो तो 0-7 या इवन फुटबॉल देखते हो तो पता होगा. Well, थोड़ा सा आगे बढ़ते हैं and I'll write some more nodes. So let's say 100 and 99 and I'll write some small numbers 1, 0. Okay, so it's a tree and this is the root of the tree and these 4 are the leaves of the tree. Now the question is that you have to find the largest sum from root to a leaf. So one of the example will be 2 plus 7 plus 1, which will be your sum will be 10. So likewise you have to find the largest sum. And the thing is, like, once you have visited the one particular node, you cannot revisit it. So what we will do, we'll start from here. So we'll see the root. Now let's use greedy technique. So I'll just write greedy here. Now what does greedy says? Maximum को उठाओ सबसे पहले. We want to find the largest, then take the largest node at the time, whatever the nodes that are available to you. So initially we have just root available to us. So we'll choose 2. Now the next option we have is 2 children, 1 and 7. Greedy says pick the largest. Okay, I pick the largest. So that will be 7. Now we have 2 options, 1 and 0. Greedy says pick the largest, 1. Okay, so we get the answer as 10. So greedy algorithm gives us answer as 10 for this tree. Now is the answer 10? Obviously not. The answer is 2 plus 1 plus 100, which is 103. So here we need to check all the possible solutions or all the possible answers, which will lead to us, dynamic programming. So we'll make sure in dynamic programming that we are not recalculating the same thing again and again. So I hope now this thing is clear that where you can use greedy and where you cannot. अगर greedy use करोगे हर step पे maximum उठाओगे तो गलत answer पे पहुंच जाओगे. लेकिन यहीं पे अगर तुम dynamic उठा के सारे answer देखोगे, what are the answers? I mean not the answers. What are the possible solutions? 1 solution, 2 solution, 3 solution, and 4 solution. Among this is the best solution. So which will be our answer? Okay, I hope this thing is clear. So we'll move forward. Now we'll look at some of the technical terms and the properties that are involved in dynamic programming. So the very first thing is overlapping subproblem. So dynamic programming is mainly used when solutions of same subproblems are needed again and again. It's very simple. The thing that we were talking about, that there are going to be some overlapping, as the name suggests. You're going to calculate two subproblems and there should be some overlapping of those problem. Abhi jo apan ne Fibonacci mein kara. So in Fibonacci series you are finding n-1, n-2, and here in n-1 again we were calculating n-2. So you know this subtree and this subtree, they are same. So basically we have overlapping subproblems here. That's what it means. Well, main problem kab aati hai? When we read the next property, which is optimal substructure. So let me read the definition from Wikipedia for you. In computer science, a problem is said to have optimal substructure if an optimal solution can be constructed from optimal solution of its subproblem. This property is used to determine the usefulness, dynamic programming, and greedy algorithm for a problem. Typically, a greedy algorithm is used to solve a problem with optimal substructure if it can be proven by induction that this is optimal at each step. Otherwise, provided the problem exhibits overlapping subproblem as well, dynamic programming is used. Okay, so usually what happens is in this, like even I used to get confused, like बहुत confusion हो जाता है, optimal substructure क्या है, overlapping subproblem क्या है. So without wasting your time, what I will do, I'll directly take an example to make things clear for you. So let's take an example. Now let's take a graph. So what I'll do, I'll just draw a graph. Let's say we'll draw a pentagon. So A, B, C, D, E. Okay. Now if I give you as a problem that what will be the shortest path between A to C. So what you can do, you can divide it into two subparts. So one subpart will be going from A to B and B to C. Now the shortest path between A to B and B to C will eventually give you answer for A to C. Another possible solution is you can take from A to D and D to C. So what we are doing here, we are dividing our problem statements into two different subproblems such that whatever the answer they are going to give, we can use directly them as our optimal answer. So those optimal substructure will eventually give us the final answer. So this is where we can use our optimal substructure. But जैसा कि मैंने बोला, जब तक एक एंटी एग्जाम्पल नहीं मिलता ना, तब तक वो चीज दिमाग में नहीं बैठती है. So let's take an anti example. Now I change the question. Now the question is, suppose you want to find the largest path from A to D. The largest path from A to D, what it is. So from A to D, the one possible solution is that you may go from A to C. So we can break down again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use here optimal substructure. Let's see if it works or not. So from A to D, we'll go from A to C and C to D. So I have divided my problem into two subparts. Now what happened is, friends, when I try to find answer for A to C, what is the, let's say, smallest path, we'll assume that largest part, not smallest, correction. So let's assume that every edge has weight equal to 1. Now in order to find the largest path between A to C, I'll say the largest will be A to E to B to C. So from A to E to B to C. And what will be the largest path from C to D? So largest path from C to D will be C to B to E to A and to D. Okay? Okay, if it's not visible, I'll write it again. From C. Okay, so where we were? Yeah. So we had a pentagon and A, B, C, D and E. Okay, now I told you to find the largest path between A and D, and everyone was having one weight for each edge. And we divided into two subparts, which was A to C and C to D. Now for A to C, we find the largest path. One of them will be A to E to B to C. And from C to D, the largest path will be C to B, E, A, D. Now, as you see, if we try to combine these two as our answers, then there are the vertices which are being repeated. Like we are visiting E, A, and B in going from C to D, as well as when we are going from A to C, we are again visiting A, E, and B. So we are repeatedly we are visiting the same vertices again. Now that's not the right answer. Like you cannot just revisit from one node to the next node again and again and again. So for the largest path, you can only visit one edge one at a time. Sorry, I mean in overall you can visit just one time. Okay. So in largest path you cannot use optimal substructure, or you cannot use, I mean it's not you cannot use, it's more of like the largest path doesn't follow optimal substructure problem. Okay. So I hope this thing is clear to you, overlapping subproblem and optimal substructure. But still, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer them. If you like the video, then hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe the channel. Also, if you guys want to have some doubt sessions or something, like let me know in the comment section. I'll revert back to you as soon as I can. तो मिलते हैं दोस्तों, जय हिंद।